reopening its value level. So PSA Value Level reopens. I have some mixed emotions about it, but my main emotion is that what Jamie Hauser just said, which is you definitely need to do your homework. And I think here's why. So let's just recap for everybody who doesn't know the announcement. PSA Value Service Level is now open. You have to be a Collectors Club member, which you can get an annual membership for, and it really isn't a huge fee when you think about if you're going to be submitting a lot of cards anyway. It is just for some people, don't take my words the wrong way, an additional fee sucks, but knowing that you need to have a budget to grade cards anyway, you kind of just end up baking that club membership fee into your grading cost is kind of a better way to say it. So it's $30 per card. You have to have a 20 card minimum. Estimated 120-day turnaround time. It has to be between, there's all these stipulations, which I think is fine. PSA can do whatever they want. The other stipulation is it has to be cards made from 1996 through 2022. What I think Jamie Hauser makes a good point, and it relates to this topic, is before you go jump into submitting at PSA again, you have to think about timing. So Kendall, you and I talk all the time about timing the market. Greg and I talk about that on the F1 show. Gary and I talk about that on the basketball show. You talk about that on the soccer and baseball show. Andy talks about that on the football show. Timing the market is huge. Really, no one thing is ever the same from day to day in the sports card market. And we try to update the sports card investment report as best we can. So with 120-day turnaround time, you also have to take into account that PSA is not going to start grading these cards until after they are through the backlog of the current value submissions, which include the backlog from 2020 and 2021 that they're still going through. I myself have not received my cards that I spoke about several episodes ago, my 200-ish card submission at the $12 value level. So I'm now thinking, okay, I can submit a bunch of stuff at $30. That sounds great in principle against SGC because it's higher resale value on the secondary market with PSA. But do I want to wait not only the 120-day estimated turnaround time that they're talking about, but do I want to wait until they start grading these? That turnaround time apparently doesn't start until after they get through the backlog. And I don't have my cards back yet, so I know they're not even close to getting through the backlog. So I really think this is great news, but you really have to be strategic and do your research about what cards you're going to submit now, because you might not get those back. And if you're trying to turn something around for, say, this NFL season, like a Justin Fields auto or something like that, you're probably not going to get that thing back. So you better know Justin Fields is going to be a good long-term hold, or else you could get screwed. That's just one example.
Yeah, I think so. For us, we're at that silver membership level, and I've talked to several people here that have come to the wild cards submission questioning, basically asking me how to do that process. And for us, it's a little bit different. And because it's even cheaper than it is, if you're just going in, just regular economics, sending in. And what's great about it is I think we'll see cards that deserve to be encased. And what I mean by that is like protected and maybe like looking really great, but probably don't value really high. I'm thinking about those cards that are between, $15 and $50 in value. There's some of those cards that, especially when I was early trading, that was big for me, that $15 to $50 range. And to have one of those slabbed, I remember I bought a Prism Black Tua in like 2019. It was a PSA 10, and that's not like a super awesome card, it's like an RPA or whatever. But for me, that was huge, and so I really wanted to have that encased, and I think I had that option at, I bought it in case, but I'm saying if I had pulled it, I could have at the time I could have sent it off to PSA for between $20 and $40. I don't remember what it was originally at that point, but and I'm liking that it's returning to some sort of an obtainable case where you don't necessarily have to just have RPAs and, you know, rookie ticket autos or Bowman first out of 299 to send in for it to be worth it. I think that grows us in the collection aspect rather than the investing aspect, which in turn and it helps the investing. They kind of all work together. So I'm excited about it. I also am excited that I don't have to send things to an economic option now and potentially just not being able to move it quick enough. You know, like I love SGC's look. And I think in soccer cards specifically, there is still SGC plays because it seems like the soccer card community is definitely more accepting of the SGC tuxes. But now I can submit to PSA knowing that my margins are going to be a little bit easier to work with. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to help the hobby. But I think you're correct by saying like there's still a timing issue. You know, like people submit to or like talk about doing group submissions with us and things, and they're always like, cool, so it's like 90 days, right? And I'm like, okay, listen very closely. PSA says it's whatever. That is on them. We are sending it to them, you know? So it's like,
Right.
we literally have no power over when your cards are coming back. You know, we have the power of when they're getting there and we get them as soon as we get them out as soon as we get them. And that is on us. But like, if your cards are at PSA for 6 months, there is literally nothing we can do, you know? And so, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I think it would be great. Any of you in the audience that's interested in using Wild Cards box breaks, sales at Wild Cards Trading, I think is the email that you want to email to. Is that right, Kendall?
Sales at wildcardstrading.com.
And so if you just want a little bit of help with that, but I think Greeny Green, you know, I'm kind of with them too. You know, I'm a little bit scared as to when I'm going to get my cards back. You know, there's a lot of great comments here. So thanks to everyone who's involved. This is a great interactive show today. I'm really happy about it. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple, we've got a lot of great comments here. Toa Hang says he's definitely submitting PSA value cards that he plans to flip for football and basketball season. So that's good. That's a good optimistic point of view. I like that. I hope you get your cards back and I hope all that works out for you. Definitely if you submit them now, you got a better chance. I think another play though could be to actually to Kendall's point about SGC. Kendall, you just made me think about a potential play that I've talked about in some previous shows, which is why not now take an SGC 10 and obviously it's a little bit risky, but if it's a big card, submit that to PSA for cross grading, pay, I think $60, get it back a little sooner, not have to wait in the value submission backlog, pay $60 to get it cross graded, get it back hopefully more like within, you know, 60 to 90 days ish, right? No guarantee. But so you're paying more, but if it's a big enough card and you've already got an SGC 10, now you have greater chance of a PSA 10. Although full disclosure, I don't have experience yet cross grading an SGC 10. And I don't know, some people might have their own experience with whether or not that works, but I think that could be an interesting play. So next topic is